With these dividends, I've built myself a house. Well, in 7 years. So it's like a double-edged sword, or two-faced, because as long as something isn't illegal, exactly, it's allowed, right? If you can't do it, you'll burn yourself out. And if you can do it, then you can also think big. How do you manage your companies today? I mean, the ones you founded. Do you consciously keep yourself in a strategic role, hiring a CEO right away? Or how do you manage to handle several companies at once? Oh, but I don't want to do that. I'm in a good position where I don't manage any of the companies I've created. They've all been sold. Instead, these are companies where I've invested after those sales, and where there are other owners and other shareholders, and in most of them, I'm at the board level. So I don't go in every day anywhere except here to my office when needed. It's completely enough for me to attend meetings once a month and once a quarter, have a good brainstorming session, and make decisions together. And then next time or later, see how things have gone. But when you were previously active in your own businesses, were you in the CEO role, or did you also tend to keep yourself away from daily operations? In the beginning, I was, of course, in the CEO role. And at one point, I got to where, damn, I'm so stupid, I can't manage on my own. I don't know things, I don't have the strength. So I had to find a partner, and I found a good partner, my other friend, with whom we then moved forward. And at some point, really, as the company just kept expanding and expanding, and by the way, it became less effective, as is the case with large companies. The bigger you are, the harder it is for you to walk, right? The smaller you are, the better you move. And often as a leader, you can become a bottleneck, right? Yes, exactly. I know that for many entrepreneurs, a big point of concern is delegation. How did you acquire that skill, and what are perhaps the lessons you could share about how to do it wisely? Delegation is a very, very difficult question, because delegation is not something that you can learn 100%. It has to come from within you a little bit. So if you don't have it innately, then it's hard for you to learn. You can manage, but you have to make an effort. And yes, I do know entrepreneurs who engage in micromanagement instead of solving big problems. And in the end, they have to go to work on a Saturday evening to actually get the real work done. And a couple of them have complained that really, well, it's a damn good question, that you can have a heart attack soon this way, especially at our age. But I just can't manage. I just can't manage this delegation. Delegation is a kind of trap, isn't it? That if you get stuck in it, you can actually burn yourself out quite a bit with it. If you can't do it, you'll burn yourself out. And if you can do that, then you can also think broadly and make these so-called strategic decisions and management decisions and everything else. Do you also have some kind of, I don't know, delegation hack that has somehow helped you more in the end, or some kind of mindset? For me, it's very simple. So I could delegate you today, right after this, to do anything. For me, it's easy. Now it comes naturally. Yes, it comes completely naturally. And within my own family, my son-in-law also said about it, listen, you're starting to delegate me at times. That's probably not how it should be. And then I realized I had gone a bit too far with delegating. And we're talking about maybe two different strategies. One is a capital growth strategy. The other is a cash flow strategy. How does your mindset move in that regard? Do you consciously deal with one and the other? Are you more of a cash flow investor, or are you more of a capital grower? First of all, as I said, I'm a long-term investor who is always on the buying side. So I don't like to engage in day trading or weekly or monthly trading. With monthly trading, yes, I do that once a month when I make my purchases. But these same different portfolios that I have are also divided, so that one portfolio is where there are only growth stocks. Minimal dividends as a result, right? The other portfolio is where very nice dividends are paid. And in addition, I have a very large bond portfolio, which brings you real money every quarter. And that real money helps you cover your loan interest that comes from there. So I like an investment that brings in real money, but in the long term, if I buy Amazon or Meta or Tesla, then I hope that in 20 years, I'll be taking out multiples of that money. So that's my strategy. And you assess the future value of that company. And if you see the potential, you tend to hold. I assess it in the sense that I look at its history, what its history has been. And if you talk about, for example, the dividend aristocrats who have been increasing dividends every year for like 50 years, and they've been operating for 50 years, then it's highly probable that they will also operate for the next couple of decades. You never know for sure. Yes. But for example, this one stock called Altria, which sells Marlboro cigarettes and nowadays all sorts of other things, the wine industry, the food industry. Well, with its dividends, I've built myself a house, well, in 7 years. So with investing, you don't have to look at some kind of ethical side, but rather you look at what ultimately works in terms of numbers. It seems to me to be a hypocrisy when a friend comes to visit me. It's been years where he talks, brings wine, we chat, we go to the sauna, we also drink beer on top of that, and then he says, "Damn me, hell no, I don't buy into the alcohol industry, Saku Brewery." I said, "Well, okay, but you brought me a bottle of wine here. You would have made money yourself now." "Exactly." "Yes, so you shouldn't even be drinking it." "What's more, you went to the store and gave them a profit." So it's like an ambiguity or a hypocrisy, because as long as something isn't illegal, exactly, it's allowed, right? And I always tell people, never take out a payday loan, because you'll get into trouble if you take that payday loan to the store. But as an owner of payday loan bonds, I encourage you, take them. It works for me. There are always two sides to every coin, right? The question is, on which side of the table are you playing the game? Exactly, yes. Or don't play in the casino, right? But become the casino owner, as they say. The house always wins.